Interview 1.
Welcome to Cultural Delights. Today, we're discussing the tradition of afternoon tea with Ms. Clara, a tea enthusiast and historian. Ms. Clara, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Afternoon tea is such a beloved tradition, especially in the UK. Can you tell us how it started?
Of course, the tradition of afternoon tea began in the early 19th century and it's attributed to Anna, the Duchess of Bedford. At the time, people typically ate only 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner. Dinner was served quite late in the evening, so the Duchess started having a light snack with tea in the afternoon to satisfy her hunger. She would invite friends to join her and the tradition quickly spread among the upper class.
That's interesting. How did afternoon tea evolve from a simple snack into a formal event?
Over time, afternoon tea became more elaborate, especially in Victorian society. It transformed from a light meal into a social event where people would dress up, socialize, and enjoy a variety of delicate foods such as finger sandwiches, scones with clotted cream, and pastries. It became a way to showcase one's wealth and status. Eventually, afternoon tea spread beyond the aristocracy and became a tradition for people of all social classes, although it remains a more formal occasion in some circles.
How is afternoon tea enjoyed today?
Today, afternoon tea is still enjoyed, particularly as a treat in hotels or tea rooms. Many people enjoy it as a way to relax and take a break from the day. While it's no longer an everyday occurrence, it's often associated with celebrations such as birthdays, bridal showers, or anniversaries. The tradition has also spread to other countries where it's often adapted to local tastes and customs. Interview 2.
Welcome to Art in the Streets. Today, we're discussing the rise of street art with Mr. David, a street art curator. Mr. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about this fascinating art form.
Street art has gained a lot of attention in recent years. Can you explain how it started?
Sure, street art, as we know it today, really began in the 1970s in New York City. It started with graffiti artists who used spray paint to create their art on public walls and subway trains. Initially, it was seen as an act of rebellion. Many artists were expressing their frustrations with social and political issues. Over time, street art evolved beyond simple graffiti tags to include more complex murals and installations. This shift helped elevate street art from a form of vandalism to a respected and legitimate form of artistic expression.
What distinguishes street art from traditional art forms?
One of the main distinctions is the location. Traditional art is typically found in galleries or museums, while street art is created in public spaces for everyone to see. Street artists often use the urban environment as part of their canvas, interacting with the architecture and landscape in a way that traditional art doesn't. Another key difference is accessibility. Street art is free and can be enjoyed by anyone passing by, whereas traditional art often requires an admission fee.
How has street art evolved in recent years?
In recent years, street art has gained recognition from the art world, with many street artists being invited to exhibit their work in galleries. Street art festivals have also become popular, where artists from around the world gather to create large-scale public artworks. Additionally, the rise of social media has allowed street artists to share their work with a global audience, further increasing its reach and influence. Street art has truly become a global phenomenon.
Interview 3.
Welcome to Sweet Discoveries. Today, we're exploring the history of chocolate with Dr. Emily, a food historian. Dr. Emily, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm always excited to talk about chocolate.
Chocolate is a favorite treat for many people, but its history is less known. Can you tell us where chocolate comes from?
Absolutely. Chocolate has a long and fascinating history. It originates from the cacao tree, which is native to Central and South America. The first known people to use cacao were the ancient Maya, who ground the cacao beans to create a bitter drink. This drink was often flavored with spices and was considered to have spiritual significance. Later, the Aztecs also used cacao and they believed it had divine properties. Cacao beans were even used as currency in Aztec society.
How did chocolate spread to the rest of the world?
Chocolate was introduced to Europe in the 16th century when Spanish explorers brought it back from the Americas. At first, it was consumed as a drink similar to how the Maya and Aztecs enjoyed it, but the Europeans added sugar to sweeten it. This made it very popular among the European elite. Over time, innovations in processing and manufacturing made chocolate more affordable and accessible to the general public. By the 19th century, solid chocolate bars were invented and chocolate became the beloved treat we know today.
How is chocolate enjoyed around the world today?
Today, chocolate is enjoyed in many different forms: chocolate bars, hot chocolate, desserts, and more. Each culture has its own way of preparing and consuming chocolate. In Switzerland, for example, they are famous for their milk chocolate, while in Mexico, chocolate is often used in savory dishes like mole sauce. Chocolate continues to be a global favorite, enjoyed by people of all ages and backgrounds.